Welcome back to War Thunder and welcome aboard the PR-183 Bolshevik. And I want to begin with practically a scene against aircraft. Now you can see I cannot even shoot the enemy. That is the reason because I just have primary armament on this aircraft. And in order to work around this, you have to use a few tricks. One of them I used here, but not to the best at the best time. So here I'm emptying my magazines so that I'm actually reloading and have the full magazines ready. We're talking here about some neat armament on this plane, consisting of two double 25mm guns. And there you can see I just couldn't reload in time. Of course, this is a danger. I'm repairing, I'm filling the leaks, and so I want to go on. I want to get rid of this pesky Bf-109. But I also have to take care of potential PT boats going around. And there you can see I'm nowhere near shooting where the plane flies or where I aim. So he goes around the island for another strafing run, and I still have more or less fuel magazines on my guns. So this is why I take a lead on the island, so I have target acquisition on the island, and then I can manual correct once he comes around the island. I'm waiting and he flies directly at me, and one shell is all that it needs. So that was how you fight against aircraft. Before we go on, today's video is sponsored by the Free Eagles app for War Thunder. Download the app in the video description below and use the code shown on screen to get 10 golden eagles right now. With how to use water bombs, I had this ad for you. So here I just put in a lot of lead and high explosive into this guy, and I'm actually running out of ammunition. And the one trick that I use is the versatility of the Bolshevik, which in my opinion in the current state is the best PT boat in the anti-PT boat role. Many others have better stats, look better, have bigger or even more guns, but they really cannot use them. So I'm going here more or less into the spawn area of the enemy's PT boats, and look how I approach this guy. I want to use my water bombs. So I approach him at an angle where his torpedoes cannot even rearm, slow down to have a good volley of those water bombs into his boats, and there we go. So you can use this trick once or twice before you run out of those water bombs, but that's still more than most of the times that you will then use otherwise. It's pretty hard to use them on destroyers because you have to cross them in front of the bow and then hope that the water bombs go off under the ammo rack of the destroyer. Except if he has already lost a lot of modules and you just need to flood another compartment. And what I want to show you in this now complete battle is my approach towards A on this new map that is called Adamant Sea. It's practically reworked, and I have to say I do not really like it from a gameplay style. Visually spot on, but gameplay wise there are just too many things that I don't like. For example, I think that the Western team has a better chance of taking all three caps, or at least two, and hold them compared to the northeast spawning team. And what I want to show you in quintessence is cap camping. It just sounds better than spawn pushing, does it? So now let's talk about the PR-183 Bolshevik, while I'm firing at this enemy Bolshevik, and why I think that currently it is a very good patrol boat. As you can see on the stat card in the bottom left corner, we are having two mountings of dual 25mm 2M3 cannons with a lot of ammunition. Furthermore, we have 12 depth charges and 2 torpedoes. That's all you need. Now, first of all, how the gun handles is absolutely phenomenal. You can fire for a long duration without reloading, for example like on the 20mm mountings on the German and also on the Italian patrol boats. You don't have to switch between the armaments like on the S100 between 30 and 20mm all the time. You have good depression, so you can fire straight forwards. You have good firing angles where you can use both turrets, the one in the back, the one in the front. There are they are reasonably protected and all that good stuff. The damage output is good, that it's not bugged like, for example, the Italian patrol boat that is utter garbage. And it is the most fun, it's the most versatile. As you can see, you can shoot down aircraft, you can water bomb enemy patrol boats to save yourself ammunition and have still full belts. So it's the most versatile. I think it's such a typical Russian patrol boat design. It's simple, it's looking cheap, it doesn't look spectacular, but it's efficient and it's easy to use. Now, in certain situations, other patrol boats might be a bit better. For example, the Japanese PT-15 is my second favorite one, and in many respects even surpasses the capabilities of the Project 183 Bolshevik. However, here you can see me doing the one thing. I'm taking out the enemy one by one, and I'm always circling in my capture zone. But that's not really the point that I want to talk about. So first of all, here I take him out after the pling. So this was pretty bugged in this test. And here I have the problem, one of my guns is taken out, I took heavy damage. This guy also doesn't look really healthy, at least the way that he is in the water. I shoot at the non-damaged compartments to ultimately finish him off. I repair, and I'm still pretty much afloat. So then I want to go back into the cab. Now that has two reasons. You have to go away from the thinking like in tank terms, because you have currently in the tests a lot of respawns. So to push the enemy team back and ultimately make the area smaller where they are, give them room to maneuver, give them room to come at you. And this is the benefit of spawning in the northwest of the map, on this map, where you have kind of this island arrangement. You can see this hole that I just went through, and where I'm now aiming, because I expect somebody to come through it, at least in theory. I'm staying here in the cab and just enjoying my repair and you know, the beautiful view through this hole. I can ultimately faster range find the enemy than he can do it. And even if he does, by the time he has the range, there is another part of the rock and I still can hold the distance and shoot him again, as this guy demonstrates here beautifully. And I think this is where I really have to say I like this ship. It just works. It's not as much of a frustrating experience as all the other PT boats. It has better firing angles. It can fire continuously. It has effective and damage-dealing guns. It's just alright, okay? Yes, it will suffer also greatly at the hands of destroyers, no doubt about that. But then I have to say the map design comes into play, and this map actually follows the, well, meta of the previous one, where I was so damaged that he took me out with 1 or 2 damaging hits in the bow that then went black and all my sections were damaged, saturated, so ultimately I was destroyed. The ammunition choice still works, it's alright, so I just tried it out. Both belts are, I guess, equally good. So the map design is the following. You have 1 or 2 capture zones that are accessible for destroyers. And as you can see here on the minimap, if you have a close look, the northeast team has a pretty damn advantage to get both into the north and the middle cap, whereas the only cap that is okay-ish to reach for the southwest team is where the destroyer spawn point is yeah, the southern spawn, but that is equally accessible for the northeast team. So you kind of see where I'm going with this, ain't you? So here I just hammered this guy. I see in the hit cam that just the rear part is not damaged so far. And then I hear the pling. That is the sign that I destroyed him. But I had to pump in multiple shots afterwards to then actually get the kill, and he was alive for that long. So the system was pretty much bugged. I just have to point this out. If you just have participated in this iteration of the ship test and you thought it's all dead. So, but then again, back to the map design. The northeast team has a pretty big advantage into getting 1 or 2 destroyers into the northern spawn, and then the PT boats are having a damn hard time finding place for them where they can either defend the cap from the destroyer or attack the destroyer without getting destroyed. Especially against the Fletcher, this is highly it's a lot of a problem. I had here the advantage that the enemy plane was just behaving not very smart, and I had actually a lock on him. Now you can see I try my best to take this guy out, but now I'm catched in the reload. That is pretty bad, but you know, this is the situation that I'm very often in my German PT boat that has just a very short burst that doesn't do a lot of damage, and I actually get here assisted. So the combination of cap camping, of teamwork, and of using this Russian PT boat is just amazing. And let's just summarize again what I think is so amazing about this ship. I think it's just very reliable. It has the right armament to do the job. It has the right controllability, the damage effect, the firing angles on the turrets, even depression. You can fire backwards, you can fire in the front. And that is then so many advantages that you actually expect to be, you know, normal or be there for a PT boat by default, that in comparison to other PT boats, that I don't think it's overpowered, but in comparison to all other PT boats, it works. And again, the only other patrol boat that comes close to the Project 183 is the PT-15, the Japanese one. But that has just also very good firepower with the dual 40mm. What I really dislike is the American one, because the crew stands in the open, is hardly protected, and in combination has so much firepower but doesn't have anything going for it. So again, I mentioned this very often in my destroyer videos. What would I suggest to be changeable, or what should Gaijin change to make them more attractive or more player friendly? First of all, give us the option to manually aim, because to have the necessity of target acquisition on a patrol boat where you are in a constant brawl is absolutely nuts. Then we need to have the option to switch between the armaments or to combine everything that we have. Do you remember the American patrol boats in the first iteration? Yeah, they blew everything out of the water. Now they are just a big joke. They have some unique things going for this: 4 torpedoes, rocket launchers, and secondary armament, you know, a lot of machine guns. But you cannot really use that all that often, and you're destroyed way too often. And so those are changes that I want to see in the game. And then PT boats would be alright. Furthermore, for specific ships or patrol boats like the S-100, reduce the reload on the damn 20mm quadruple turret, because that thing is utter useless. I would love to have a single 20mm gun mounted in the back of my S-100 or the Italian patrol boat, than to have to rely on this stupid quadruple 20mm that has just a very short burst fire, and then you have like twice the reload of your fire rate or fire time, and before you even had the chance to hit them hard, you know, you have to reload, and by that time you are done. So here I went out of the patrol boat because it was damaged. I didn't have the speed to do anything, and I tried out the bomber, the IL-4, without the torpedo because it's utter garbage. And look at the spawn points that I got. Look at them. I have done a lot because the patrol boats are for free, and I think unlike AAA in tank ground forces, I actually enjoy patrol boats much more as the equivalent in terms of spawn points, or how they should work in a lineup. So that is definitely something to look for. And on this map I rather use a patrol boat than a destroyer, because it just takes too long to get into the combat zone and so forth. So now I actually want to show you this clip, because I think people do not realize this is actually a thing in War Thunder. I have equipped bombs and I want to drop them. So I get here my wing clipped and then I release them, and if you have a close look, bomb skipping is a thing in War Thunder. I like that. It always has been, but I think with certain bombers it will become something really, really useful, I guess. So that's it for me today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Let me know what do you think about the video, what do you think about the test of the last weekend, and as usual, give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the ways of War Thunder.